there, E.H. Howard here. We're talking today about the 30-second commercial. It's part of the networking unit on the Sell Your Experience units. The 30-second commercial is really interesting. Every time you go to a networking event, you have an opportunity to give a 30-second commercial. Sometimes it's a minute, depending on how small the group or the event is, but typically it's usually 30 seconds. Now, a big networking event at a ballroom or something, you don't have the 30 seconds. That's why you need the conversation starters and see that video. But you typically have somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute to talk and introduce your business to everybody in the room, all right? And there's two ways of doing this. Okay, actually there's three ways of doing it. There's really three ways. I've been to events at the chamber, local chambers, where it's other businesses. Okay, I don't have the luxury of seeing them on and some of them I do. Some chamber members you see on a regular basis, and you do kind of get to know who they are and those sorts of things. But in most cases, it's a revolving door of people. And so you don't have the luxury of getting into intimate detail about your business and your super fans and your Bettys and all of that in 30 seconds to a minute. You have time to introduce your business, tell people who you are and what you do, and with the added pressure of making it memorable, okay? Now, the challenge with the 30-second commercial is getting people to remember it, all right? Your 30-second commercial, like your business card, should be a reminder to people of who you are and what you do. It shouldn't be the only vehicle, the only thing selling you to people. It is one aspect of how you're going to be marketing and making people remember who you are. And so 30 seconds is a really long time. Set a timer and see how long it is. If you're prepared and if you're ready and you understand what you're doing, that can be a long time, okay? So back to the issue of a one-off meeting where you're gonna want to talk about the business. You're gonna want to get it in a way that people can remember who you are and what you do, all right? So they see the business card, they associate the 30-second commercial, they get you, boom. And that's it. Now they remember you, now they know who you are. Conversely, what we're going to get into more detail about is what is the weekly event or the weekly group meetings. And so you go every week to a predetermined space at a predetermined time for your networking group meeting, okay? And part of that cost associated with part of the experience that you're given is that you can then have 30 seconds to 1 minute, depending again on the size of the group, how many people are in it, the length of the meetings. Sometimes they go a little long. They should be 90 minutes, but sometimes they go a little long. That is the point where, and there's sort of a schedule of what I think typically works as far as a rotating schedule for 30-second commercials that you can download. So the 30-second commercial has multiple functions when it is in a networking group situation. Yes, initially you are going to want to introduce the group. You're going to want to educate the group, I should say, on who you are, what you do, why you do it, and how you do it. Okay? I always subscribe to the reporters, who, what, where, why, and how. I should try to work that into everything that I do. That's sort of the outline that I use. Who I am, what I do, how I do it, why I do it, who I do it for. Those are the things you're going to educate them on, okay? Now, you're not going to throw everything in the kitchen sink into each 30-second commercial. That's one mistake a lot of people do is, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a second. So over time, you're going to educate them, and you're going to come back to those points. You're going to recycle those ideas, and you're going to re-educate them on those things. Conversely, as they start to really understand who you are, what you do, who you're looking for to work with, that's the key. That's the key one, not this finger. This finger. That's the key one. Who you want to work with and why. Okay, and don't say everyone. Do not say everyone. Everyone and anyone can buy, but they are not your ideal client. They are not your ideal consumer. They are not right and perfect for your business. There is a specific consumer you have in mind. Your super fan, you're Betty, and they are who you want to be introduced to, okay? That is your number one goal. Your number one goal with the 30-second commercial is to speak to the person in front of you in a way that gets them to repeat it to the people you need to hear it, okay? Again, let me say that you're speaking to the person in front of you to train them, to educate them on how to speak to the people that you need to speak to, okay? That is it. That is your goal, all right? And within that framework, you can introduce new products and services, new ways of thinking. There is a lot you can do with that. But that is your main goal. Now, some of the mistakes that happen with 30-second commercials, and we're going to always just refer to them as 30-second commercials because most people do. I'll tell you a funny story before we get to what other people make, how I've screwed up. And I remember one of my first chamber meetings, got like 10 years ago. And I called up and I said, I'd like to come to this luncheon that you're having, I'm RSVPing. And we talked for a little bit, and then the woman at the end of the phone conversation said, oh, and don't forget your 30-second commercial. And I hung up and I was like, what the hell is a 30-second commercial? What do I do? And because I was still, I had just come off of industry and I was like still really gung-ho on things and I didn't know any better. I sat down and in a couple of days created an actual 30-second like commercial spot kind of thing, because I thought it was going to be projected. I thought it was going to be on. I didn't know what was going on. And I remember showing up with my disc. This was back in the days of CDs and jump drives. And I showed up with a jump drive, I think it was. And I said, okay, well, where do I plug my commercial in? And that's when they explained to me, oh, no, it's this. And so, yeah, I was a little overachiever. But that is the point of the 30-second commercial, okay? It's to get you in front of people, and you're going to make mistakes, okay? And don't beat yourself up. Don't if you make a mistake, that's fine. You can fix it next week, okay? Nobody's expecting you to be perfect every single week, okay? Nobody's expecting you to be perfect every time. What they are expecting you is to be consistent. Now, when I say consistent, this is the number one mistake that people make, is they come up with one or two 30-second commercials, they rehearse the hell out of them, and then repeat them every week, maybe mixing them up every so often between the one or the two, which then gets you to somebody getting up and saying, hi, my name is Beth. I work for so-and-so company. We do this. Wouldn't you like to call us and get a free rate proposal? Yes, you would. Well, call us now at 800. And if I can repeat your 30-second commercial 4 weeks out, it's a bad commercial, okay? It's a repetition, not education. I can repeat things really easily. I don't need to even think about them. I can just repeat them. Doesn't mean I've learned what I've repeated. Doesn't mean that I understand what I've repeated, okay? It's like a parrot. A parrot will just repeat back. You need to bring the excitement. You need to bring the joy. If you are not excited to get up and talk about your business for at least 30 seconds, then you're in the wrong business. I'm going to say it again. If you're not excited enough to talk about your business for 30 seconds, you're in the wrong business. The best case scenario is that you go over your 30 seconds. And I know that there's networking presidents that are freaking out, because I know I used to when people would go over. But at least you're invested. At least you're excited. At least we feel like, okay, we had to cut her off this week, but hey, look at the passion she brought. We couldn't shut her up about her business. I want to be like that. You got to get them excited, okay? You got to bring the showmanship. If you get up as a monotone robot, it ain't gonna work, right? The other thing that happens in these 30-second commercials is, again, it's the repetition aspect of it. However, there are a number of people that get up, and this happens all the time in, industries like dry cleaning and plumbing and home repair and, those types of business. And someone will get up and be like, hey, I'm your chapter, plumber. You know what I do, give me a call. And that is not a 30-second commercial, Okay, that tells us nobody anything that's not educating your chapter at all. And so you need to really kind of speak to them about why you're the plumber for them. What do you do that no other plumber does? If you were just any old Joe plumber, you would work for a larger corporation, but you're on your own. You have your own small business for a reason. What is that reason? Tell us. Tell us a story about a homeowner. Tell us a story about something, a problem that whatever it is, but entertain the group, okay? Because they need to remember who you are. They need to talk about you effectively to the people that they know. Now, the challenge with the 30-second commercial comes in where you may give a couple of commercials and then people start sending you referrals, and then you realize, like, this person I don't do anything close to what this person is asking. How did I get that referral? That's a bad referral for me. And the number one reason for that is you've either left information out from your 30-second commercial that has forced the chapter member to fill in with their own personal experiences, or you've just been really vague and you haven't told them in exact terms what you need from someone, okay? Now, having said all that, there are people, no matter how long you explain it in the chapter, who are still going to send you bad referrals. That's just going to happen. You need to accept it. However, if you get a bad referral, don't run to the person and be like, this is a bad referral. I can't believe you gave this to me. Do not attack the person. Do not throw a fit. Don't come from a place of negativity, okay? And I've seen this happen in chapters before, where the thing should really, the way you should approach it is, and let's give a scenario. I do some, I give Mike a referral, and Mike, it wasn't a right referral for Mike, so Mike comes back to me and says, hey, that wasn't a great referral. What the hell were you thinking with that? When the way that it should be approached is Mike should come to me and say, hey, you know what? I really appreciate the referral. I'm really happy that you're thinking about me, and I'm really happy that you're looking out for me. And I'm really glad that you're helping me grow. However, that referral that you gave me last week, that wasn't the greatest referral, and I feel bad because I couldn't help them, and et cetera, et cetera. You kind of really come from a place of understanding and caring. And from there, the next conversation can be from Mike is, so what can I do to help you better understand what I do? What can I do? What can I give you? How can I help you find more consumers for me? And what am I saying that might be, am I saying anything that's vague? Am I saying anything that's confusing? Help me understand how to help you, okay? And I don't think that goes on enough in networking groups. I don't think that goes enough in chapters. I don't think that goes on enough in business. But you need to approach your chapter members with, what am I saying in my 30-second commercial, or what am I giving out to you each week that this misunderstanding is coming up? And I'm saying this, when I say this, what do you think? And really trying to have a conversation with them. And I think if you came from a place of I need you to help me, so I'm going to give you what you need to be a success. What have I not given you? Then the person isn't going to be upset with you. They're going to actually want to try and help you even more, because if they've given you a referral, they want to help you. And if it was a bad referral, you need to help them. And then I personally would be appreciative of somebody coming to me and saying, here's how you can help me even more. Here's how you can, get me to the consumers that I need to speak to. And I really appreciate everything that you've done, and I can't thank you enough for it, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Other things with the 30-second commercial is, the biggest one is repetition, and the biggest one is assumption. It's just like, I'm going to say the same thing every week. When chapter guests come in and they can repeat the commercials, maybe that's not the best use of your time. Okay. I'd love to hear what you have to think about 30-second commercials, your experiences with them. Leave them in the comments below. Don't be shy. Follow me on all social media. I'm EH Howard, literally everywhere. If you have any questions, concerns, or comments about this video, please post them in the comments below, and I'd be happy to address them. I want to hear what your experiences have been with 30-second commercials and networking groups. If you've had silly stories like you made a complete commercial, I'd love to hear that too. Other than that, all right, and I will see you in the next video. All right.